Sag, it's Marley from the Energy Boutique, bringing you your December energy forecast. First and foremost, I want to wish you a very happy birthday. If you are a November Sag, then of course you just had your solar return, downloading those light codes from the sun that will last you all year long. Of course, if you are a December Sag, then your birthday is right around the corner, and I'm sure you are awaiting such an event in order for you to feel like yourself again, very, very deep in your darkness at this point in time. And even though you already had your new moon in Sag late November, you are likely waiting on that solar energy from the sun on your birthday in order to infuse you with a spark, with a light, with a passion once again. So I truly hope that you are feeling more and more like yourself with every passing day. And of course, prepared to move on in this brand new natal year. So coming into December, of course, we have a huge focus on you this month, as it is still very much your season, but we have a lot of energy shifting. And of course, Sag energy is great energy for the collective. It's great energy for you. And we are definitely setting our sights on the possibilities for the year ahead. So we do have Neptune going direct at 22 degrees in Pisces on Saturday, December 3rd. This is our very first astro event for the month of December. And Neptune, of course, ruler of our higher selves, of intuition, of dreams, of our soul self, has been retrograde for the last 5.5 months, really slapping those rose-colored glasses off of our face and making us have to deal with the ugly truth of life, of our realities. Of course, we've all been through some struggles. We have all definitely hit the bottom of the barrel. And now that Neptune is going direct, there is a new faith, a new renewal of spirit, a new, I'm going to say, dream and vision forming. And we're definitely having a little bit more confidence in ourselves, especially how we've been put through the ringer and are still surviving, that we can pretty much tackle anything. And we are damn well determined to make the best out of some crappy situations. So Neptune has been in Pisces for quite some time and definitely illuminating all of the ups and downs, the back and forths that have been taking place in your fourth house of home, of family dynamics, of the ever-changing foundation underneath your feet. And having Neptune go direct in this particular part of your life is definitely going to bring a little bit more fun back. Bring a little bit more focus on the smaller things back. Definitely kind of renew you with a new strength in order to realize that you can handle anything that life throws at you, especially with the ever-changing boundaries that are constantly pushing you to your limits within that home, within those family relationships. So on the 6th, we have Mercury, ruler of the mental plane, ruler of information and communication, moving out of your sign and moving into Capricorn. So, of course, it would probably be safe to say that it was very nice to have Mercury in your sign, giving you a new renewed faith, new ideas to work with, new focus, a new way to actually speak your truth, be heard, be seen, be validated. Now that Mercury is moving into Capricorn, we're going to take those big dreams, that big vision, that new adventure, that new quest for meaning and for purpose that likely get triggered within you, and we're going to start building it. Capricorn energy is an earth energy, so we definitely feel like we are coming down off of a very high. We might even feel super low, a little bit negative, a little bit serious, a little bit somber, but that's okay. We have some long-term goals that we really have to get zoned in and focused on, especially taking those great big dreams, those great big ideas, and actually refining them to a point where we can add some logic and practicality to them in order to actually bring them to life. Nobody knows better than you do, Sag, that sometimes you have a hard time focusing. Sometimes the energy, the ideas coming into that beautiful, brilliant mind of yours are so rapid, are so scattered that sometimes you don't actually see things through. Mercury moving into Capricorn is going to help ground you out. It's taking place in your second house, which means that you're really getting to work building a new self-worth, a new self-value within yourself, working on some skills and some talents that are definitely going to help you in the long run, bringing in some extra resources, some extra financial opportunities. And as far as your relationship aspects go, I would say that Mercury being in Capricorn is really going to help you to speak very clearly, cut through the bullshit of some of the tension points going on in your relationships, and really getting down to the nitty-gritty on what it is that you need to kind of pour into to make sure that the footing that you are standing on in your day-to-day life, where your relationships and money matters are concerned, is a little bit more safe and stable and secure than it has been over this past year. On December 7th, we have the full moon taking place in Gemini energy at 16 degrees. So this is going to be pretty powerful for you, considering the fact that Gemini sits across from you in the zodiac wheel. Of course, you just had your new moon in Sagittarius, which would have highlighted the first house of self for you, meaning that this full moon in Gemini energy is going to be highlighting the seventh house of partnerships, of relationships, of how it is that you're sharing yourself in the world with other people. And let me tell you, this is going to be a very fiery full moon. Of course, the full moon is about a release, and it's in Gemini, so we have a lot to say, we have a lot of truth to speak, and it's taking place at 16 degrees, sitting next to Mars, who is retrograde in Gemini energy, which is going to help us kind of bring to the surface some repressed anger, some frustration. We have new thoughts, new ideas, new truth that we have to speak. Many of us biting our tongues, not being able to articulate it quite as well as we would like. But the full moon in Gemini is definitely going to push us to unleash that anger and agitation, that frustration, even that rage if we're not careful, and allow us to get those bouncing thoughts, those elated feelings out into the world, especially in our personal relationships where we've been a little bit hesitant to speak our truth and to kind of let the other person know how it is we actually think and how it is we actually feel. On the 9th, we have Venus, the goddess of love and beauty and worth and pleasure, moving into Capricorn energy as well. And again, I'm sure Venus being in your sign for the past couple of weeks has definitely helped you come back to life. Venus, of course, in Sag energy, she just wanted to have fun. She just wanted to bring the playful energy back. Of course, she had a new worth, a new truth, a new value that she was kind of sitting within herself, but she just kind of wanted to experiment, put herself out in the world in a different way, really experiment with, the energy dynamics in certain relationships and really kind of get down to the nitty-gritty on what it is that she wanted to create for herself as far as opportunities go. In a similar sense, as we talked about with Mercury, coming out of this fire energy of Sag and diving down into the earth energy of Capricorn is quite a shift. And with Venus in Capricorn, she is really looking to ground herself out, to slow things down, to focus on her long-term goals, who it is that she wants to pour her time, energy, love, and attention into, whether or not that energy is being reciprocated. She's looking for new financial opportunities as well, as she has kind of evolved new skills and new talents that she's ready to kind of pull out of her back pocket and start creating a little bit of a side hustle and extra income with. And Venus being in Capricorn is definitely going to give us flashbacks to this time last year when Venus moved into Capricorn, but then went retrograde, did an inner empowerment journey. We had lots of changes thrown at us over this past year, and now it's time for us to get kind of a little bit somber and serious on what it is that we want to pour our time, energy, and attention into and moving forward. Again, this Capricorn energy is going to be highlighting your second house. So it is going to be very focused on this new foundation that you're building within yourself, the relationship with yourself, how you're taking care of yourself, this new relationship dynamic, how everybody's kind of finding their way, finding their role, finding their part, and what that actually means for being happy or not. And of course, the second house is about, tapping into that skill, those skills, those talents, that resources that you have in the back pocket in order to plan long term for some new goals, some new opportunities, especially to put yourself out there in a brand new way. On the 20th, we have Jupiter, your ruler, moving out of this Pisces energy and moving back into Aries energy. So we did have this particular aspect take place back in May. There might be a little bit of a reflection back to that time, a little bit of a redo, if you will. Jupiter, of course, is about growth and expansion, about beliefs and abundance and blessings. And Lord knows we've been put through enough karmic lessons, put through enough spiritual lessons over the last couple of months that we are definitely feeling a new level of knowledge and wisdom in that particular area, and we're ready to move on. Now, jumping into this Aries energy, it's a fire energy, so it's a sister fire sign to you. It is also the very first sign of the Zodiac, very focused on redefining who it is that we are, what it is that we want to do, where it is that we're going in life. And for you, this particular aspect is going to be illuminating your fifth house. So your fifth house is your heart space. It's the heart chakra. It's really where playful energy resides, where creativity resides, where peeling back the layers and getting very raw and vulnerable with what makes you happy, what it is that you're being called to pursue, new passions, new desires are being activated within you. And again, I would say to take the time out and really kind of sit with yourself and see where it is that you were at this time back in the spring, and just kind of reflect on all the things that have transpired since then, and kind of giving you an opportunity to redo some of the creative aspects that you were looking to bring to life, to initiate, to begin back in the spring. On the 21st, we have the winter solstice triggering this last quarter of the astrological calendar. Of course, we kind of retreat a little bit. We are a little bit more introverted. This is a time of reflection. It's a time of regaining our strength, realigning with ourselves. But the winter solstice gets triggered when the sun moves out of Sag season and moves into Capricorn energy. So of course, in typical Sag to Capricorn fashion, this is definitely going to feel very low and slow compared to the fire energy that you're used to, and compared to the sun being in that fire energy. Now the spotlight gets turned on what are you going to build? What are you going to create? What do you want to bring to life? You've had a lot of very valuable opportunities over this last year to really shine, to really up your sense of confidence and optimism within yourself, and really kind of bump up the skills and the talents that you have to work with here in this earth plane. And the sun moving into Capricorn is shining a bright light on your long-term plans, your long-term goals, and what it is that you can be aligning with in the here and now in order to start kind of building the cornerstone foundation that is going to be needed for this next year of you really pursuing your dreams, you really leveling up in different areas of your life, and of course, creating a brand new, safe and secure and stable foundation for you to operate from. On the 23rd, we have the new moon in Capricorn at 1 degree. Now, the new moon in Sag that you just had was at a 1 degree as well. And it's very interesting because we are gifted with a couple of moon events in sequence that are at this 1 degree. And what this means is that we are starting a brand new chapter and essentially initiating what we are going to be experiencing for the next 2 years. Now, the new moon in Capricorn wants us to be very serious, very focused, have tunnel vision on what it is that we want to bring to life, Capricorn energy. is the manifesting energy of the Zodiac. We are bossing up to new roles and responsibilities, new versions of ourselves. We have new goals. We have new ambitions that we want to pursue. We have to get very focused on what it is that we need to bring to life, the discipline, the motivation, the inspiration that we have to have in order to dig deep and keep this particular bridge a building. So again, in the second house for you, you really are going to have to focus on routines, relationships, money matters, and what it is that you want to experience over this next 2-year cycle, and what it is that you have to get busy building and creating. Also on the 23rd, we have Chiron, the wounded healer, finally going direct in Aries energy. Now, Chiron's been there for a while and really trying to show us where it is that we have to kind of re-identify who it is that we are. This is a rebranding, so to speak. This is about our ego identity, and Chiron being in Aries energy has definitely triggered your 5th house for quite some time. That's your heart chakra. And because you've gone through quite an interesting up and down type of topsy-turvy life lessons, especially where your family is concerned, where your relationships are concerned over these last couple of years, it feels like you found your own lane, your own vibration, your own role, your own footing. And because of that, there's definitely been a lot of pain and insecurities and fears and doubts that you've had to deal with, but I feel like you've overcome them. And now Chiron is moving forward. Means that we get to put into the world what it is that we've learned about ourselves, who it is that we are now, what it is that we want to initiate, what it is we went through, what it is we grew through, and what it is that we are now going to do to apply that wisdom, that knowledge, that amount of healing to our external lives. Lastly, on the 29th, we have Mercury going retrograde in Capricorn. Yep, that's right. We're starting a brand new year off with a Mercury retrograde. So in typical Mercury retrograde fashion, our minds are going to go to mush. Our technology is going to F up. The way we speak and how we understand other people when they speak is going to be all kinds of kerfuffled. And in Capricorn energy, you best believe that this is going to be a little bit nostalgic, a little bit serious, a little bit somber in reflecting over this past year what has been broken, what was damaged, what died, what got destroyed, in order to clear the path and clear the way for new elements to be born and created into. So with this particular energy, just as Mercury moved into Capricorn, highlighting your 2nd house, Mercury is going to go retrograde in Capricorn in your 2nd house. This is going to be a revision, a reflection, a redo, if you will, to the routines, the relationships, the money matters, the resources in your day-to-day life. Again, giving you a full overview of this past year, what has changed, what fell apart, what was removed, and now what it is that you are building in its place. Again, the 2nd house is constantly asking you what it is that you want to build, what do you want to give birth to, what do you want to create. And in Capricorn energy, you best believe that we are thinking long term about our goals, our ambitions, what's next for us, where it is that we need more strength and safety and security in our lives, and where it is that we have the power to manifest whatever it is that our heart and head are asking us to pursue. So a couple of the messages that I would like for you to focus on as you move throughout the month of December, they show me that this is a completion point. And of course, with your birthday, that was an ending in order for a brand new beginning to actually take place. The problem is with my Sag friends is they never take enough time to truly focus on what it is that they want. Again, the energy being very scattered, multiple ideas coming into the mental plane. It's really hard to complete a thought, let alone be excited and enthusiastic and optimistic about the possibilities, but never really giving it enough thought to see that thought come into completion. So the universal guides are asking you to give yourself that time, especially around that new moon in Capricorn. I know everybody's going to be super busy with the holiday season and kind of distracted and not really willing to sit down and do the work to align with the energies. But let me just tell you, that would be a huge disadvantage to yourself. This is a very powerful new moon energy, and the universal guides are asking you to get very focused on what it is that you want to experience for this next year, for this next 2-year cycle. They are showing me that there is new roles, new responsibilities for you to be jumping up into, new karmic chapters, unleashing for you. A lot of my Sag friends are going to see some very positive changes over this next year, especially where their career, where the roles and responsibility in their career advance to a point where there's some extra money coming in, whether this is a raise or a new position or just a side hustle. There is definitely an expansion of the career, of the money attached to it. And with that, you will find yourself really on top of the world in a very positive financial space and a very positive creative space as well. But you got to step up. You got to be ready. You got to be focused, and you have to identify what it is that you actually want to pursue. So Sag, that's all that I have for you for the month of December. I want to thank you so much for the love, for the support. I hope you have a beautiful holiday season, and I hope you have a beautiful start to the brand new year. I'm sending you nothing but love. We'll talk to you soon.